Good morning. I just finished posting the cover of the Brevard Live magazine that has my son's band that won Entertainer of the Year, favorite original band, and also my son won favorite drummer of the year. Uh, just finished posting that on my two Facebook pages, my main profile wall that has 5,000 friends. And by the way, I encourage you to go to Facebook, Ron Van Dyke, Paradox Man 316. Is that the right address? uh, yeah, Ron Van Dyke, Paradox Man 316, no spaces. Just that whole thing. My name capitalized and Paradox Man 316 capitalized. Anyway, I just finished posting that on both of those walls, and from now on, anytime I post something on my main page that has 5,000 friends, I'm posting it on the fan page or whatever you call it that has no limitation. All you have to do to get on that is like it, and I'm pretty sure that that will, if you have your account set up that way, you'll be able to get all the posts and see all the posts that I post. Not necessarily all the ones that everybody else posts, but at least the ones that I'm posting. Anyway, all that's by way of introduction. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Title for today's talk is Crossing a Bridge or Leaping a Chasm. I recently watched a presentation about Ubuntu by Michael Tellinger, and that's the South African Liberation Movement, by the way. Anyway, he talked about eliminating money altogether. He's not the only one who sees money itself as the biggest problem we face. I forgot a letter. Others see government as the problem. They are both right in a way, as I see it. I'd love to live in a world that does not require money at all and where people are mature enough to self-govern without any form of government at all. And I made another mistake. I should read this before I start reading it out loud. I think we are headed in that direction. However, I don't think we can get there from where we are right now. While many would like to leap the chasm, I believe wisdom would have us cross a bridge instead. I greatly respect Michael Tellinger from South Africa and the Ubuntu movement. I mean, I think that's definitely one of the bright spots, the Thrive movement, and there's a whole bunch of movements around the world that are providing creative solutions to some of the problems that we face. And even Michael, on the third one of his, there's three parts. There's 15 minutes, 15 minutes, and then 11 minutes, as I recall watching them. And the last one, he did say that we may not be ready to go to a cashless, moneyless society yet. He's right. We're not ready. The only way that we can get to that destination of living in a world with no government as we've known government and no money as we've known money is to, only way we can jump right to there is to totally destroy the old one. And the vision that I have and that many others have is for as peaceful a transition from where we are right now to where we're going without destroying the world, without major warfare and a bloody coup to overthrow the old. We're trying our best to repurpose the existing structures wherever that is feasibly possible and work within the system so that there's as little disruption as possible in moving from the old to the new. In other words, we visionaries, those of us that agree with what I just said, what we're trying to do is build a bridge for humanity to cross safely to where we want to go. And that is to the place where we're all awake enough and mature enough and responsible enough to not have to have someone tell us what to do, that we will be able to be in touch with our own heart and our own soul and the essence of our being enough to not need to have someone tell us, well, you can't hurt people, because we will know that when we hurt somebody else, we're hurting ourselves. But many humans aren't there yet. We're so caught up, as Aristo said yesterday, we're so caught up in the please don't hurt me because we've been so wounded by the current system. And yes, the monetary system of the world is a slave system, but it's because it's based on debt. And they've made the people the debtors, when in fact it's the other way around. All value and all real wealth comes from the people. It's our ability to create that adds value to anything. There is no value by itself, and as far as creation goes, there is no value by itself in something just being without doing. It's the doing that creates. You know, we have the thought of what needs to be created. We speak it and bring it into action. It's all about action and doing, which is part of being. Being by itself is inert. When you add the doing to it, you can change things. And that's what we're trying to do. We're changing the world, and we're trying to do it step by step, day by day. An unfolding of the evolution, if you will. It's a rapid evolution. We want it to be rapid. We don't want it to take hundreds of years or not even decades. We don't want that. We want it now. I mean, I wish I had it. I was ready for it 10 years ago. After 9/11, when I began to really get it that our governments were criminal institutions and organizations, when I really began to see that it's the government that does all these evil things in the world, the United States government and other governments, but they do it because of the monetary system and the control of a handful of very wealthy, powerful people who want to run the world. They want the world to serve them, and they don't want to lift a finger to actually create anything of value. Their whole game plan is to control and dominate so that everything exists for their ego. They are the personification of your ego, my ego, and the ego of the human race. That's what it is. It's the shadow part of ourselves that's manifested in this Illuminati criminal cabal. That is our shadow. They belong to us. We have the power. But as long as we remained ignorant, we didn't know it. So what we're trying to do is build a bridge. What we're trying to do is to repurpose the existing structures and institutions so that the transition can be a peaceful transition from where we are to where we're going. Because as I've often said, you can't get there, the vision. You can't get there from there because you're not there yet. You have to start from where you are. And we as humans need to start from where we are collectively. It doesn't matter that there are some of us that may be a little further along the path. Not much, but a little further along the path. There may be some of us that see a little more clearly than others. But we're not trying, it's not a thing of trying to compete and we get there first so that we can win the prize. No, we want everybody to win the prize. You know, it's like the kids in the race from the third world country when one of the little boys in the race, or I guess it was actually the Special Olympics, when one of the little boys fell down, the others all went back and got him, and they all went to the finish line together. That's the image I want you to see. That's what I want you to get. We're on this team together. And we don't want to leave anybody behind, not even the Illuminati. I know that may irritate some of you because they've done a lot of really nasty stuff. I mean, this cabal of international bankers, I mean, they're not nice people. The Henry Kissingers of the world, the Rockefellers, the Bushes, the Morgans, the Rothschilds, they're not nice people. I mean, let's own it. They're not nice people. But what they've gifted us with, if we'll see it, is they've gifted us with the ability to see the dark side of our own being. Because every one of us has been so wounded, and they have a culture of wounding each other. They live in that culture of, of abuse. They're raised with abuse. That's why there's so many of them that are sexual deviants, for example, because they were sexually abused as children, because they were put into that set so that it would destroy their natural love and their natural compassion. And that's how they became psychopathic. We need to see that. But we want them to heal because we need to heal us. We need to heal ourselves. And we want to build a bridge. The previous worlds have ended in cataclysm. Is that what we want? And we do have a choice. It's not written in stone. If we were to continue on the path that we had always been going, it would have been an inevitability. We couldn't have escaped it, but we are waking up. That gives us a whole new choice. And one of my friends said to me recently, Ron, how can you be pushing the Swiss Indo thing? They're part of the UN. The UN is evil. I get it. I hear it. I know all about the UN Agenda 21 and all about the dark side of the UN that's being controlled by the cabal. I understand all of that. I'm not ignorant of that reality, of those facts. I'm not ignorant of that at all. But I also am not ignorant of the fact that within the UN, just as within the United States government, just as within the European Union, just as within all of the governments of the world, there are people that really want to do the right thing, that really enter politics with the hopes of making a difference. But the system has been so corrupted by the monetary system where all the value is placed at the top instead of at the bottom. And what the Swiss Indo is wanting to do is put the value back where it belongs, at the bottom. All creativity is where it belongs, at the bottom, because humans are tremendously creative. We are part of the divine creator, if you will. We are part of creator. All creation is part of the creator. But we as humans, as sentient beings, have a special role. We are the children of God, if you will. Each one of us is, and it doesn't have anything to do with religion. Religion has been one of the things that has divided us. Does that mean we have to get rid of all religion? Some people would say religion is another one that we've got to get rid of it. No, we just need to repurpose it. We need to repurpose government. We need to repurpose the monetary system. We need to repurpose all of the institutions of our human culture and society, which has not been very cultured and not been very civilized at all. That's why we commit crimes against humanity, because we don't know who we are, and we do not own the dark parts of ourselves to heal them so that we can become whole. As long as we are split, we polarize the world that we live in, because it comes from us. And we can't just leap from where we are to where the visionaries see that we're headed, because humanity isn't ready to make that leap. That's why there are visionaries that have gained the wisdom enough to say, no, stop, let's slow down a little bit. We have to build a bridge. We have to do this so that nobody that is willing to come is left behind. Maybe there are going to be some people that'll be left behind, but it'll be their choice. We want everyone to be educated enough and aware enough to know the situation as it really is, to have it placed before them as it really is, to tell the truth, transparency, to tell it like it is so that each individual can say, oh, yes, I want that. That's what I want to experience in my life for myself. But it's hard to even get people there until we break through some barriers of education and of providing the information necessary so that you can see this is where we're living. We can't, until we own where we are, we can't get to where we want to go. You can only get there from here, not from there. That's the point that I've been trying to make and trying to communicate that with each of you to the best of my ability, day in and day out over a long period of time now. Well, long, not in geological years, it's just a blink. In geological time, less than a blink. But long as far as a human lifetime, going on 3 years. Folks, let's build the bridge together. Let's not be afraid of money. Let's not be afraid of government. Let's not be afraid of the things that we've been taught to fear. Let's let go of the fear, or hold it a little more loosely, not quite so tightly. Let's not make it so rigid. Let's allow the flexibility to have these institutions repurposed and to have people that have been part of the system brought in as gently as they can be brought in. Yes, we have to stop the crime. Yes, we have to stop the wars. Yes, we have to stop the injustices. We have to address those issues because they're real issues that affect our brothers and sisters somewhere in the world. Everyone is affected by what affects anybody else. We need to recognize that we're interconnected. We need to love ourselves and to love one another. Every religion teaches us that. Every religion. Let's wake up and let's build this bridge so that we can get safely to where we want to be. And where we want to be is where there's no more hurt and no more pain, where tears are wiped from our eyes and our broken hearts are mended, because we're finally home, because we finally evolved enough to become mature enough to know who we are and to treat each other with honor and respect, and to give every man and woman the dignity he or she deserves. And ultimately, we all deserve that dignity. Thank you for listening. Namaste.